The Central Asian Report is a program about the ongoing geopolitical trends and the panorama of the present-day realities in Central Asia.
Politics, economics, and culture, events, trends, and people, all this on one territory. Hello, you're watching the Central Asian Report in today's program. Kyrgyzstan and the Eurasian Economic Union, an objective view on the prospects. Sowing season in Tajikistan, time to collect cotton. Global social survey of the youth of Central Asia. A portrait of a Kazakhstani runologist. And coming right up, headlines from Central Asia. Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan agreed on flexible tariffs for railway cargo transport. In particular, this will include discounts on the transport of grain, flour, various types of agro-products, cotton, mineral fertilizers, and ferrous metals. In addition, an agreement was reached on the supplies of railway industry products to Uzbekistan from Kazakhstan's producers. Also, an agreement was reached on the list of Uzbek fruits and vegetables that will be exported to the countries of the Customs Union with the use of Kazakhstan's railway infrastructure. Turkmenistan is offering its own satellite to be used for the transmission of foreign TV channels. The space device, which was launched around a year ago, at the moment transmits the signals of 6 Turkmen TV channels and 4 radio channels. However, it can transmit up to 70 TV channels, also to provide radio, telegraph, and other types of communication between subsurface stations. And its coverage encompasses a couple of tens of countries of Europe, Asia, as well as the Near East and North Africa. For now, only Russian distributors have expressed interest in Turkmenistan's offer. Kyrgyzstan has been a member of the Eurasian Economic Union for 8 months, and this undoubtedly had an impact on the country's economy. How did this membership affect the country, and what are the prospects within the framework of this integration association? Our correspondent from Bishkek brings us the story. On the 18th of August 2015, Kyrgyzstan joined the Eurasian Economic Union. Back then, experts believed that the country was not ready for such a big decision. The necessary reforms were not complete, and agreements with other countries were not yet reached, and this had the potential to stagnate trade turnover and create confusion in the business sphere. There is a refragmentation of the economic space for the entrepreneurs. Some segments are shrinking, including trade. Some are expanding, and this affects the lives of real people. One of the main expectations of Kyrgyzstan's accession to the Eurasian Economic Union was integration into a big market of 200 million consumers. The opening of borders between countries was expected to facilitate trade turnover. However, let us take a look at the numbers. If in 2014 the export volume of Kyrgyzstan's products to Kazakhstan reached $340 million, then in 2015 they fell to $150 million.
Сертификационные службы по ветеринарной оказались не готовы.
Certification services, veterinary services, it turned out that they were not ready, because a whole set of measures is required. Equipped laboratories, preparation of qualified personnel. Right now we're faced with the fact that exports of animal and dairy products to neighboring countries cannot be realized to a sufficient degree.
В достаточной мере экспортироваться в соседние страны.
According to the representatives of Kyrgyzstan's Ministry of Economy, the fall in trade turnover with neighboring countries is not in any way connected with the country's accession to the Eurasian Economic Union. They believe that this is the result of the economic crisis and the strengthening of the US dollar. And the membership in the Integration Union, on the contrary, softened the blow from the global economic recession. The Dordoy market was at some point the largest trade platform in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. The main flow of products came here from China, and then the local wholesale distributors awaited accession to the Eurasian Economic Union was somewhat of a worry. As a result, their concerns were justified. According to the data of the Ministry of Economy, in April of this year, the number of active entrepreneurs at the Dordoy market decreased by 400 people. I do not know what the economists are thinking, but for us, simple retailers, the Eurasian Economic Union cannot be called as positive. Sales have fallen. You can take a look yourself. Entire rows of stalls are empty. According to the data of the Ministry of Economy, the prices of products from Turkey and China and Kyrgyzstan from August of last year rose by 15 to 20%. But the cost of food products, contrary to the forecast, did not rise. However, according to experts, it will be possible to judge the real result of Kyrgyzstan's accession to the Eurasian Economic Union only after at least 5 years. News from the fields of Tajikistan. The sowing season is in full swing in this country. Farmers are sowing the seeds of Tajikistan's main agro-product, cotton. Our correspondent in Dushanbe brings us the report on the forecast and specificities of the agricultural season. It is high season in the south of Tajikistan. The Deccan farmers are spending the entire day out in the field in order to have enough time to plant the cotton seeds. Just a month ago, people here feared a drought, believing that they won't be able to commence the sowing season on time. But the rains came, and the farmers even began their work earlier than was expected. Komil has been working as a mechanic for already 32 years. Over this time, he did not just become an excellent master, but has also learned the entire process of sowing this crop culture. First, one needs to select the field, remove the weeds, so that the cotton grows clean. Then the ground is flattened and the sowing begins. Right now we're introducing drip irrigation, and this can help not only save money, but also be less dependent on the weather conditions. Firuz is plowing the earth on his tractor under the scorching sun. When the sowing season is in full swing, every day of good weather has to be productive. That is why the farmer has his breakfast and lunch out in the field. In the family of 16 people, all the tasks are distributed according to a strict order. The men dig and sow, the elder children help out, and the women cook. And like this every day, when it is not raining. If we sow everything on time, then we'll have a good harvest. Last year, I gathered 28 tons of cotton. This year, I will sow an additional 3 hectares and we'll get a bigger harvest. The Hatlon region is the main region where cotton is cultivated. There are more than 600 farms here, and almost all the lands are used for the cultivation of cotton. This year more cotton was planted than last year, in hopes for a bigger harvest. Along with tons of popular types of cotton, new ones were cultivated that result in bigger harvests and are resilient to changes in weather conditions. All are exclusively locally cultivated with patriotic names: Tajikistan, Avesta. There is even a special variety, 20 years of Tajikistan's independence. Sowing is complete on a territory of 12 hectares more than the same period of last year. We were afraid that the weather could not be in our favor, but now all worries are gone and everything is going according to schedule. In the Soviet times, this farming enterprise had a resonant name, Lenin. Right now it is the biggest in the region. However, back then agricultural works across the country were realized at a different tempo. For example, in 1980, a record-setting harvest level was registered, more than 1 million tons of raw cotton. Today's achievements are more modest. Last year, just 390,000 tons of cotton were collected. This year in Tajikistan, cotton will be planted across a territory of 200,000 hectares. This is 30,000 more than last year. The main buyers of Tajikistan's cotton are Russia, Iran, Turkey, and Latvia. But the country is also in dire need of cotton itself. Today, the full production cycle of cotton is being established in the country, from collection to processing and to the sale of a final product. In order to do this, new textile plants are being built in various regions of the country. Youth are called upon for their opinion. Sociologists in Central Asia conducted a wide-scale survey in the region on the current problems, needs, and interests of young people. The obtained data is interesting. Our correspondent Almaty brings us the report on what the young people are thinking and living by. The youth of Central Asia, who are they? This was a question that the sociologists of the fund named after Friedrich Ebert and the Institute Public Opinion were interested in. They published the results of the research in a book that was recently presented in Almaty. In every country, the youth is the future. This is easy to say, but if we seriously engage in analysis, then we need to understand what young people are thinking about, what they're expecting, and what their interests are. Young people from Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan between the ages 14 to 29 took part in the sociological survey. The differences between the surveyed groups were already clear during the interview stage. In Tajikistan, the parents were very protective. This means that they constantly wanted to be with their children, especially with the girls. In Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan, things are much more relaxed in this respect. A large share of the information obtained through the survey is still being processed. In the country, the research was conducted in 14 regions. 1,000 respondents took part in it.
The
results of the research show active participation of our young people in politics. Half of the respondents say that they would like to take part in a referendum and in the voting process. Among other topics, the issue of Kazakhstan's integration to the Eurasian Economic Union was mentioned. According to the results of the survey, almost 91% of those surveyed support the idea and other integration associations with neighboring countries. The young people of Kazakhstan are especially interested in integration with Russia, China, and countries of the Central Asian region.
According
to the results of the survey, one can see that our youth is very open on issues of foreign policy. They're ready for cooperation with all the youth of Central Asia. Tajikistan is called the country of young people. Almost one-third of the population are people who have not yet reached the age of adulthood. And unlike the young people in Kazakhstan, they're not as interested in issues of foreign policy. According to interim results of the survey, other issues are more relevant for them.
Это самая главная проблема. Проблема, значит, образования, получить доступ к образованию и после получения образования доступ к работе. Еще один.
The main problems are concerning education, access to education, and afterwards finding a job. What stands out among the youth is the high level of unemployment. Everyone knows that Tajikistan is one of the countries from which a lot of laborers migrate to Russia. Approximately 95% of our labor migrants work in Russia, and among them the percentage of young people is very high.
Мигранты, и среди них большая доля как раз и молодежи работает в России.
The analysis of the data obtained from all the countries is planned to be completed by the end of this year. This will help specialists in understanding the problems and demands of today's youth. In addition, it will be useful for the government in the formation of the current youth policy. For someone, these are just scribbles in the forms of sticks and circles, but the resident of the city of Turkestan, Orhanbay Bekshan, uncovers the historical past through these signs. This is his job, to decode archaic texts that were written using an ancient runic alphabet.
В средней школе я увлекался с историей казахского народа и начал.
I was interested in the history of Kazakh people. I started reading all the books on this topic, and then in the journals and newspapers I saw these unusual signs, and as a result I discovered that they represent a runic alphabet.
В газетах были такие непонятные такие знаки, которые впоследствии я знал, что это рунические алфавиты.
To this day, the scholar has decoded around 100 pages of text found not far from the city of Issyk, and he has reached conclusions which may change our perceptions about the ancient Turkic script.
Раньше считали все ученые, что только древнетюркский.
Before, scholars believed that the ancient Turkic writing began in the 8th century, and I'm reaching the conclusion that its roots go back to the 4th century BC.
С 4 века до нашей эры.
However, the scholar considers his main work to be the study of the Orhon inscriptions of the Kultigin, Bilge Khagan, and Tonyukuk. For this research, he was offered a grant. It turns out that the meaning of these texts has not yet been completely revealed.
Моя мечта есть, конечно. Вот это и все не найденные.
I have a dream of studying all these inscriptions, the ones that were found in Mongolia and in the city of Issyk, to reveal the authentic text.
Все изучать и недостатки все это найти, и чтобы показать подлинник.
There are only 2 rhinologists in Kazakhstan, and Orunbay is one of them. Therefore, he does not fear to be left out of a job because there are more than enough runic secrets and mysteries to last for his lifetime.
На этом все.
You're watching the Central Asian Report. Until next time on Kazakh TV.
Казах ТВ.